Ciao Laziali, welcome to another episode of Lazio Lounge. I'm Vittorio Campanile and today I'm with nobody. I'm alone. I'm flying solo today. I could say a lot of things, but it's not the time. But first, talking about Genoa Lazio, a huge, unbelievable thanks to all our Patreon. Thanks for your support. You're amazing. If you like our podcast and want to help us, patreon.com/Lazio Lounge. Membership starts at $2 a month. Next week, we're going to record exclusive podcast for our Patreon Q&A, answering to all your questions. So it's the perfect time to join us if you want. But now it's time to focus on Genoa Lazio. Lazio Bodo, maybe we're going to talk about it in the future, but at the moment it's better to focus on the last game Lazio played Wednesday. You could know what happened, right? All the games scheduled for Monday has been postponed due to the death of the Pope. So Lazio, instead of playing Monday against Genoa, played yesterday, Wednesday. Lazio should have been scheduled to play on Sunday against Parma at home, but on Saturday, sorry. But the game has been postponed because there's the funeral of the Pope in Rome. So Lazio will be playing next Monday. And we have to be honest, this has been an advantage for Lazio because we played last Thursday and we reached the penalties in the Europa League. So playing on Monday, it would have been quite difficult for this team. Instead, having 2 extra days to recover, I think had a huge impact. And the same would be playing on Monday instead of Saturday against Parma. But one of the biggest concerns I had going to this game was how the match against Bodo would have an impact on Lazio going forward. We saw it in the past, I don't know how many times, Lazio not able to forget the loss and going downwards after a bad performance like the one against Bodo. Instead, Lazio played a great match against Genoa. I thought we deserved to win. And was important because this is a very young Lazio team, Lazio squad. And so I thought that the impact of the defeat in Europa League could have a huge impact. Instead, it didn't happen. One thing very important, because maybe people say, well, Genoa is not that great club. That was an easy win, etc. Well, last time Genoa lost at home was the 21st of December. So last year, in 2025, Genoa didn't lose a single game at home. So winning there after the last performance Lazio had, it's quite an achievement for this team. So we don't have to underestimate this win. This was difficult and very important. Winning away against Genoa wasn't an easy challenge, and we made it. So this is very important. We have to give credit to this team because A, they forgot the terrible defeat against Bodo that could have a huge impact, and B, Genoa never lost this season at home. So that was very important. Obviously, the red card definitely helped Lazio. And to be honest, that was a clear red card. So there's not a lot that you can complain about that. So definitely being 1 man up till, I would love to say the end of the game, but it wasn't. The Belayen red card is something we're going to talk about in this podcast, but was very stupid. But Lazio managed to win this game. And I think Taty Castellanos had a huge impact. Now, what I said yesterday during the game was Taty Castellanos scores only beauty. The goal he scored yesterday was pretty much impossible. I don't know how he made it. Taty Castellanos is unbelievable. He scores such an amazing goal. The problem is he missed easy goals like he did Thursday against Bodo, like he did yesterday against Genoa, but he scored an unbelievable goal. And it was really important to go ahead in the first half because I thought in the second half, if the result is still on a draw, Genoa could put some defender and make it even more difficult to Lazio to score. The other thing I want to point out is that it's obvious, it's clear, crystal clear that with Taty Castellanos playing, Dia is another player. Now, I'm exactly not sure how these things work. I think Taty Castellanos opens spaces for Dia. And it's The last two games they played together, they both score is a goal per game. And this is very important because if you consider before Taty was available, Lazio struggled to score and Dia was pretty much embarrassing. Since Taty's back, Dia is a completely different game player. And yesterday, we have to be honest, Dia before the goal didn't do nothing special, below average, I would say his performance. But that goal was difficult. It wasn't easy. Rovella pass is great, but scoring like that, it's not easy. And this shows you that Dia has the instinct of the goal scorer. And yesterday he showed it. But I think Taty opened spaces for Dia, and that's why they work so well together. And yesterday we saw it. Dia and Taty scored yesterday against Genoa. They scored Thursday against Bodo. Going forward, this is very important because now we are entering the last 5 games of the season, and unbelievable, Lazio has still a chance to reach the Champions League. It's going to be really difficult. At the moment, we are 6th. So if the season would end today, we will go to the Confederation League. And this is something we have to talk about because with Milan winning yesterday, the semi-final of the Coppa Italia, if Milan wins the Coppa Italia, then only the 5th will go to the Europa League. The 6th in the table will go to the Conference League. I would love to not see Lazio going in the Conference League and reaching at least the Europa League. But these next 5 games will be very important. A little bit surprised seeing yesterday Juventus losing. Juventus is a very difficult team to understand. It looks like with Tudor, they finally pick up. And I was thinking, well, maybe Juventus could reach the top 4. Bologna, I don't know if they will keep up with this pace till the end of the season, but they're still 4th. I mean, the Champions League fight will be really interesting. I was hoping Atalanta would lose some points going forward. This is not happening anymore. So it's going to be really, really difficult. It's unbelievable because there's a really opportunity for Lazio to reach the Champions League spot, but there's really a chance that Lazio finish out of everything. Not Europa League, not Champions League, not Confederation League. So this is really difficult to predict, and we have to win more games possible from here to the end of the season. We have some easy games, but we have still to play Juventus at home and Inter away. Those games will be really, really difficult, but it's something we have to work on because, I repeat, there's a chance we finish with nothing in our hands, and that will be terrible for the season we played so far. I blame the ref a lot in the past, and I want to hear your opinion. I thought Belayan was never a red card, but we have to say that Belayan challenge was really stupid. You are 2-0 up. Genoa is not doing pretty much nothing. You are in control. You don't need to do that challenge, right? That was a clear yellow card for me. The yellow card was right. And even with the yellow card, Belayan would have missed the next game. So it was stupid anyway. Don't think it was a red card, but there is this number that is concerning. Lazio so far in Serie A, all in Serie A, without considering Coppa Italia and Europe League, has 72 yellow cards. 72, guys. Only Monza, with 74, has got more yellow cards than Lazio. If you go and check, all the top teams are like 52, 45, etc. We are receiving far too many yellow cards. Now, I know for a lot of ref, it's too easy to give a yellow card to Lazio players, and I said it multiple times in this podcast. The ref are not helping us, but at the same time, we have to admit that we are getting too many stupid yellow cards. And yesterday, we had the perfect example. The Belayan challenge was stupid. You're 2-0 up. You don't need to do the challenge. That yellow card was correct. The red card wasn't. But that was a yellow card you could easily avoid. But there's another thing. Nicolò Rovella so far has received 17 yellow card. 1-7, guys. Way too much. Way too much. And if they were only fouls to stop the opponent team going and scoring. Okay, that's fine. You got the yellow card because they were going counter attack and you were the only man standing. You had to foul him, otherwise they would have scored. Okay, that's good. That's perfect. I have nothing to say about that. But if you go and see the 17 yellows card Rovella got, maybe a bunch of them are for that. All the others are for stupid yellow cards. Yesterday is the perfect example. The referee blow the foul, the whistle. It's a foul. Why do you have to kick the ball away? Why do you have to kick the ball away? It's pointless. It's stupid. The ref had all the rights to give you the yellow card. Was it too harsh? Maybe. But the rules say if the ref blows the whistle and you kick the ball away, you're wasting time. It's a yellow card. Yes, we can say probably against Roma, it would never happen. Probably if an Inter player would have done it, you would never receive a yellow card. With Lazio players, they are very careful on this. So you know it already. Why do you have to kick the ball away? Did you waste that time that was key to win the game? Absolutely not. Did you avoid them for taking the penalty, the free kick early and maybe score? No, they were on the other half. So it was a really, really, really silly yellow card. And it's not the first one. It's not the first one. I mean, Rovella got 17 yellow cards. Matteo Guendouzi, that play in the same position of Rovella, has 7. 10 less. What does this number tells you? That Guendouzi is smarter. Guendouzi gets only yellow cards because of fouls, handballs, etc., while Rovella gets a lot of stupid yellow cards. And this is something we need to avoid because it's not just a number. These yellow cards sums up and you miss games. And you can miss important games. And Rovella is fundamental for this team. He's one of the key of this team. So every time Rovella misses a game for a yellow card because he's disqualified, it's a huge problem for this team. So 17 yellow cards is way, way, way too much. And it's something we should avoid. Now there's another thing. Because Rovella is at 17, but Zaccagni is at 11. Zaccagni is a winger. 11 yellow cards, guys. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Again, most of those yellow cards are stupid from Zaccagni because he gets a lot of fouls. We see it every single game. He should calm down and not react every time. A lot of the yellow cards Zaccagni takes are for reaction, protesting with the ref, etc., etc. Stupid yellow cards. Again, Rovella, Zaccagni, they are key players for this club. Missing a game because you get 4 yellow cards is silly, especially for a winger. And these are problems that sums up and create bigger problems. So one thing Baroni should do is tell these players to be more focused, to be more calm in the game, because these yellow cards are stupid and have a huge impact on the team. Another thing I wanted to point out was Mario Gila. I thought February, March, he wasn't great. He wasn't playing amazing football like before. I thought he was already with his mind thinking to maybe I'm going to Real Madrid next season, maybe Chelsea is going to sign me, maybe I'm going to Manchester City. He wasn't focusing on the game anymore. And you could see it. He made a couple of stupid mistakes. Not huge mistakes, but you could see he wasn't Mario Gila anymore. Baroni made the right decision to play Gigot in a couple of games. And I thought Gigot had a good impact, especially in the derby. And I said, Gigot is the perfect player for the derby. And he played so well that Dobbik didn't touch the ball ever in the derby. And it was one of the reasons why Lazio, for me, played better the derby than Roma. Gila played yesterday. And to be honest with you, it was the first time that I was a bit concerned about Gila. Because I said, are we going to see the old Gila, the one that is a game changer, or the one with the head over heels that you don't know what you can expect? Yesterday, Gila played well, made a couple of good saves. We saw the Gila that we needed to see again. And this is very important. And I think Baroni needs credit for this decision of taking off Gila a little bit and then bring him back. Gila is one of our best players. I think Gila, not sure he's going to be here next season. We need money, and he could be the sacrifice we're going to make. But Gila yesterday played finally back to his levels. And yes, Genoa, after the red card, didn't create that much, but I thought Gila was important, especially in the second half, when we were a little bit struggling after the red card of Belayan. One thing we have to talk about is Marusic, because I don't know how many of you were surprised to see Marusic playing right wing. Marusic played already right wing in Belgium. He was playing right wing or right back. So it wasn't the first time, but I think with Lazio was the first time seeing playing like that. It didn't last long, his performance as right wing, but what this thing tells us is I think Baroni made the decision, and can we blame him? I don't think so. Chauna, after what he did against Bodo, is out. Don't know how many games he's going to play this season, but I think Baroni is fed up with him. He's pretty much said to Chauna, hey, I give you every opportunity in this season, every opportunity. I started you right wing, central forward. Even when you were playing bad, the next week I gave you an opportunity, and you didn't take your opportunity. I think he scored 2 goals this season, right? One against Como in Serie A and one against Ajax in the Europa League. That's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the most important thing is he never played a single game well. We had sparks of Chauna playing great football, but, it was like 10 minutes out of 80, 5 minutes out of 25. That's not enough for a team fighting for the Champions League or the Europa League. You need a player who plays better, consistent, who gives you 5, 6, 7 games where you say, hey, Chauna changed the game. He was outstanding. I mean, we talked about Isaksen last year, right? And even at the beginning of the season, saying, yeah, Isaksen is not 100% the player we were expecting. Sometimes he switched off, but sometimes he switched on. I remember Torino Lazio, he didn't play great football, but the assist of the second goal is of Isaksen. How many times last year he was like 35 minutes invisible, and Isaksen scored? Can we say the same thing about Chauna this season? No, we cannot. And I think Baroni said, hey, these last 6 games are like 6 finals. We have to win all of them. And I cannot trust you. If I need to win against Genoa, I cannot play you. I have to find another solution. Isaksen was out. He received a yellow card in the derby, so he couldn't play yesterday. And instead of playing Chauna, Baroni said, you know what? I'm putting Marusic right wing because I'm more confident that Marusic will play at the better level, even right winger, than Chauna. And this is a clear signal, not only, but when Lazzari got injured and was subbed, a lot of people were thinking, okay, now Chauna comes in, right? He's the natural replacement. You bring Marusic back in his position, and you put Chauna there, and it's done. Instead, what happened? Baroni brings in Pedro, who I don't think he played a lot of games right wing this season. And Pedro is not playing great in the last couple of months or so. After the Milan game, I thought Pedro had a dip. And this is another concerning part. But instead of bringing in Chauna, Baroni brought in Pedro. And this is a clear signal that Chauna, I don't want to say he's out, but I think Baroni's fed up with him. He knows these last 5 games, because yesterday it's gone, are finals, and he needs to win them all. And he doesn't trust Chauna. So he's not going to play play because we need to win these games. If Lazio finds themselves out of everything, maybe Chanel will play. But if Lazio is still in the challenge, in the fight for the Champions League, Europe League, etc., I think Chanel won't play. And honestly, I think Baroni is right. Chanel was probably the biggest disappointment so far in the season. Don't know if you agree with me. Chauna and Nosling, probably the biggest disappointment. Nosling, because we paid him 80 million euros and he's not performing. Against Bodo, he scores, yes, but anybody would have scored that goal now. Now, let's be honest. He's less than a meter from the goal, probably. And behind him, there's Dia. So if he missed the ball, Dia scores. And he missed the penalty. Yesterday, Nosling come in the last, 7 minutes? Pretty much doesn't do nothing. But at least you can say that Nosling had some sparks. The Napoli game, both Napoli game, the Coppa Italia and the away game, Nosling had a good impact against Torino, etc. Genoa at home, he scored the first goal and was a beauty. So Nosling, at least, he's doing something. Chauna is nothing. And it's a shame because Chauna is 20 years old. I think he's turned 21. He's a talent. When he came, I thought, this is a nice signing. Only 8 million euros. He was 20 when he joined Lazio. He had a pretty good season with Salernitana. I thought he can only improve. Instead, he went backwards. And this is disappointing. Now, I don't know if Chauna's future with Lazio is finished. He's going to leave. But you have to find a solution because the player is not performing. Instead, Mandas is, again, one of the best players on the pitch. Now, yesterday, before the red card, Mandas made 2 great saves. Especially the second wasn't easy. And then he got hit by a flare. The TV didn't show it. Lazio tweeted it. And basically, a flare from the Genoa fan. What happened? Maybe you're not aware. So basically, the Genoa fans came in after 15 minutes of the game because they were complaining about the rescheduling, saying playing 6:30 on Wednesday is awful. It's a big issue for all the fans. So we're going to come in 15 minutes later and complain about that. They came in around the 15th minute of the first half, and entering the stadium, they start flying flares on the pitch. One of them hit Mandas on the back. Mandas said after the games, it didn't hurt me, but I felt very hot. Well, obviously, it's a flare. So I ran away and noticed that the shirt was a little bit melting behind because the flare took fire. Don't know what's going to happen to the Genoa fans. I mean, if it was Lazio, you were pretty sure that the next game, home game, will be without fans. Don't know what's going to happen. But Mandas had a very important game yesterday again. And I want to point out something that nobody's mentioning. The Genoa red cards come from a long ball of Christos Mandas. Go and watch the action again. Christos Mandas sent the ball long. I don't remember if it's Taty Castellanos with the header to Zaccagni, and then Zaccagni get thrown away, and it's a red card. Mandas' long ball is becoming a thread, and it's becoming something very interesting for us. Against Atalanta at Bergamo, long ball of Mandas, Isaacs and score. In the derby, he didn't have that opportunity. Genoa, third game he plays, red card. Mandas' long ball can be a new scheme for Lazio, and it's working, guys. 3 games, 2 with Mandas' long ball having an impact. Bergamo, we scored. Against Genoa, we get a red card. So Mandas is becoming more and more important, not only as a shot stopper. I don't want to say he's the best in the Serie A, but he's very good at that. But now, even with the long balls, he's becoming more and more impressive and more important for this team. So the question mark we all have, I guess, is where would Lazio be if instead of 3 weeks ago, Mandas would have become the starter in January, maybe? Would it be top 3? Who knows? Nobody can tell. But obviously, and we said it in this podcast, Provedel this year made a lot of mistakes, costly mistakes, because when the goalkeeper makes a mistake, 9 out of 10 is a goal, right? So it's a shame. We will have to see what Provedel does this summer, if he has to leave, if Lazio try to sell him. But I think from now on, as Chanar is out, Mandas is in, I think he's going to start all the single games if nothing bad happens. So I think Mandas is one of the reasons why Lazio is picking up. One thing to point out, in the last 4 games, Mandas started in Serie A, Venezia Lazio, Atalanta Lazio, Lazio Roma, Genoa Lazio, 4 games, 3 clean sheet. Which, considering what did Lazio in the last past months or so, is unbelievable, right? Lazio was conceding a goal per game. From December onwards, every single game of Lazio, we consider a goal, except when Mandas played. Venezia Lazio, 0-0. Atalanta Lazio, 1-0 for Lazio. The Derby, 1-0. And yesterday, 2-0. 4 games with Mandas, 3 clean sheet. Coincidence? Well, a little bit of luck, obviously, but I think Mandas' impact is pretty clear. And I think at the same time, when you see this goalkeeper playing like that, even the defenders play better because they feel safer. They know that, okay, if I make a mistake, Mandas is going to probably save it anyway. So I'm more confident, I play more relaxed. While with Provedel, you know, if he dribble past me, it's goal. So I have to be very careful. I think Mandas had a huge impact, and this is not something we have to forget. Mandas, very young, very talented. I think he's going to be the future of Lazio, if a big Premier League club doesn't come and sign him. But knowing Lotito, he's going to ask a lot of money. Anyway, Taty back, Lazio winning. It's really important. Next game is Monday, Lazio-Parma, and it's not an easy game. Parma beat Juventus yesterday. Big surprise for me. I thought Juventus was picking up, and Parma was struggling a little bit in the last couple of months or so. So Monday is not going to be an easy game. Let's not forget something, which is funny. Lazio won the last 2 away games they played. Against Atalanta, very difficult game, and against Genoa. Again, Genoa never lost a game in 2025. What is missing, where we're struggling, is the home game. Last home game won was Lazio Monza 5-1, and it was ages ago. This year, 2025, Lazio won just that game at home. I don't consider the Lazio Bodo a win, to be honest with you. But in Serie A, we are unbelievably, because I cannot explain the reason why, we are not winning at home. And we have to start winning even at home, especially against Parma. So Monday is going to be a challenge game. Obviously, playing Monday instead of Saturday will give us 2 extra days for recovering. It was important yesterday because Romagnoli, if we played on Monday, would have played. Gigot would have played instead of Romagnoli. With 2 days extra, Romagnoli was back, and I thought yesterday he played a good game. Nothing incredible. I don't think he was 100% fit. But playing on Monday, we are going to have the squad at its best. Now, Nuno Tavares, don't think he's playing. I don't know if his season is over or not, but I don't see him starting. We have another issue with Lazzari because Lazzari, I guess everybody noticed, he went off in the first half and Baroni put in Pedro instead of Lazzari, which makes sense, right? Maros came back to his position, etc. Now, this season, this is the 4th injury for Manuel Lazzi. 4th injury. I think it's too much, right? 4 injuries in a season is too much. I loved Lazzari. I thought with Simone Inzaghi, he was very important for our club. He had some very good games when we were playing with the 3-5-2. Switching to the 4-3-3, he's probably one of the players who struggled most. I thought with Sarri in the second year, he picked up. He was playing better. The last 2 years, the last with Sarri, this season, he's struggling a lot. He's not the same Lazzari we saw 3-4 years ago. And now he's picking up a lot of injury. Now, he's always been an injured player, right? he often, every season, pick 1, 2 injuries. This season, 4, and it's not over yet, the season. I think it's far too much. This summer, Lazio has to change a lot of fullbacks, right? I don't know what you're going to do with Nuno Tavares. Don't know what you're going to do with this side. I think Pellegrini is staying, and we're going to talk about Pellegrini later. But you have to get rid of Lazzari. I think he's not able to guarantee you to play, not only at a good level, but to play. He's always injured. So you need another fullback instead of Lazzari. Last but not least, Luca Pellegrini. Luca Pellegrini is a funny player, I would say. Yesterday, I'm not going to say his best performance of the season, because I thought this season he played a couple of good games. But yesterday was a complete performance. The weakness of Pellegrini is defending. He's not very good. He's a very offensive mind left back. But yesterday, he didn't concede nothing. And most important, he didn't make mistakes, because the problem with Luca Pellegrini is he played good games and then he does stupid things. And as a left back, if you make a mistake or a stupid thing, it could cost you the game. I don't know if you remember Ajax Lazio. We were like 2-1 in the second half. Ajax was pushing, and there's a long ball in our box. And Pellegrini, for no reason, instead of kicking the ball away, goes with the header, I think, or with his chest, pointing the ball to our goalkeeper. But it's so short that the Ajax striker is with the ball, gets the ball in front of Mandas, and luckily for us, he completely missed the shot. That was a stupid mistake. Mandas didn't call the ball. There was no reason why you should have passed the ball to the goalkeeper. And that's Luca Pellegrini in a nutshell. He played really well when pushing, and then sometimes he makes stupid mistakes. Yesterday he didn't. I'm not saying he's Paolo Maldini. Don't get me wrong. He's not Paolo Maldini. He's a good replacement. He's a good player to have on the bench. He needs to improve, but yesterday he played a good game. And when he's able to run and pass the ball in the box, he can be very useful. So I'm happy that Pellegrini had a good game. But we have to be honest, Lazio yesterday played a good game. Obviously, being 11 against 10 for pretty much all the game was a huge advantage. But it was even good to see Lazio reacting after the bad defeat against Bodo, because that could have a huge impact on the players. So I think this is all for Genoa Lazio. Three very important points. Lazio is 5th with Juventus, but for goal difference we're 6th, and finish 6th means Confederation League now at the moment. So we have to be careful. Then there is Parma, Juventus, I think there's Parma, Empoli, Juventus, Inter, the next games. So we still have, there's Lazio, Parma, Empoli, Lazio, Lazio, Juventus, Inter, Lazio, and then we finish at home against Lecce. So 5 games, very important. We still can reach the Champions League, which is unbelievable, seeing how we played in 2025. So we have to try to win every single game. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's possible. I'm not saying we're going to do it, but it's possible. I mean, Inter is struggling a little bit. Juventus is struggling. If Lazio play at the best, we can beat anybody. At the same time, if Lazio plays like we did against Bologna, we can lose even against Lecce at home. So let's see what happens. We're going to be back Tuesday after Lazio Parma. This time, I'm not going to be alone. Alistair will be finally joining me. So we're going to see everybody on Tuesday. Remember, we're going to do a exclusive podcast next week for a Patreon Q&A answering to your question. So if you love the show, if you want to help us, you can subscribe patreon.com/Lazio Lounge. And yes, Leeds got promoted, so we have to celebrate. Leeds is back in the Premier League. Take care, guys, and always Forza Lazio.